not talking about a president in the George Washington sense of the term of, like, we need to get freedom from our, I guess, our prisoners or our freedom takers, known as the king, queen, that kind of stuff. We need to break away. So there's too much control. I'm not talking that kind of president. That kind of president was needed back then. Government is a necessary evil on certain terms, certain instances. But now it's gone way beyond that. Look how many people work for the government. Look how many people don't pay attention to things. Look how many people just vote R or D down the line, whether it's president or anyone else. I mean, Senate or Congress or whatever. It's R or D, or it's, not for me, that kind of sense. They don't care what they talk about, what they say, what they stand for. Those are different things. Because what they talk about and what they say are not what they stand for. Politicians are trained liars. That's what they do for a living. They're worse than a used car salesman. And I say that and I feel bad about putting used car salesman in the same sentence as a politician. Because there's a lot of good used car salesmen out there. But there's not many, if any, politicians out there worth a grain of salt or are worth anything. So with that, in mind, why does someone need a president? Now, today. Because the president should be there. They should be the CEO of the armed forces. They should be protecting us from, foreign entities, other countries that want to take over. And that was few and far in between, and that didn't happen a lot. Really. Not like all these wars that go on all the time, and they never end. And they're constantly going on, and not just wars from countries. I'm talking about the war against drugs, the war against poverty, the war against, terrorism, the war against XYZ, the war against, ABC, the war against LMNOP, the war against whatever, the war against freedom is what it is now, the war against COVID. Really? So if we have eternal wars, wars that never end, wars of infinity, there's no end of it, then there's always an emergency, so then they have unlimited power for infinity. That's how those two go hand in hand. So back to my question is, why does anybody need a president? Really? Why do people care? Really? Well, because the president is the head of the R or the D side of the game, side of the match. And it's good to follow a sport, good to follow a team in a sport. So you like football, it's good to have your team. You like basketball, it's good to have your team. Baseball, it's good to have your team. You follow politics, it's good to have your team. It's that same deal, but worse. It's WWE, not to rip on WWE. They have a great product. But political, the political whole gamut is basically WWE. And if you want to call it a product, they probably have a good entertainment product too. The problem is, no one views it as entertainment. Not many. And then politicians ruin lives. They take and take and take, don't give, and they ruin lives. They ruin lives, they ruin families, they destroy countries. That's what they do. It's the real WWE. So, who needs a president? I say no one needs a president. No one needs a president. It shouldn't matter who's president. Really. What should matter is your family, your friends, your neighbors, heck, most anyone you interact with. Those people should be more important than the president. Who's president? President should be way down on the very bottom. From anything of importance. Your family, your friends, your neighbors, those you interact with on a daily basis, those you interact with on a semi-monthly basis should be more important than the president. Absolutely. So those are the people that matter. I mean, your neighbor will help you with things you need. Watch your kids, help watch your house, will, just lend a hand, will be a good ear to listen to or a good conversation person to talk with. They're just a great thing. Your neighbor's there for you. Your family will stand up for you, will protect you, will help you in the same sense and even different senses. Your family. Your friends will do the same thing. I mean, all these people, for the most part, you can trust. So I'm trying to think, does a president or politicians fall in with those guys? Will the president or politicians help you personally? Will they stand up for you personally? Can you trust them? Absolutely not, because they're lying when they're moving their lips. That's just how it is. And then they say, well, that was just campaign talk. That's why I'm not going through with it now. It was just campaign talk. So it was just part of the show. It's like John Cena says some stuff before a match, during a match, after a match. And it really ticks some people off and says, I didn't know you believed that way. Oh, that was just ring talk. That was just for the show. Oh, okay. That was John Cena. He's an actor. He's, pretending. Same thing politicians do. No difference whatsoever. Except politicians ruin families, lives, and countries. So, it shouldn't matter who the president is. Really. It really shouldn't matter. You should live your lives the best you can and rely on your neighbors to be there, your family to be there, your friends to be there, and they should do the same. No matter what their views are. This is life and everyone's getting through it and going through it. That's how it should be. Why am I saying this? Because it feels like it's more true now than ever that the game or the focus, the goal of politicians and government as a whole big operation is to divide and conquer. Because you keep people, first you divide people, get them separated, R versus D, red versus green, left versus right, get them separated, get them arguing amongst themselves over some game or some, party or some, thing they've said on TV or something that's going on that the mainstream media is pushing. Get people arguing, get them divided. These people used to get along, but now they have different views, so now they're not getting along. They're not happy with each other anymore. They just quit talking. Excuse me. Friends and family members quit talking. So you divide them. Then it's easiest to control. It's a lot easier to control people and a group of people that are divided because they're not looking out of the bigger picture. They're not banding together to stop stuff that's coming down, that's taking away freedoms, that's controlling people, controlling lives, taking stuff away, taking your money away, taking your purchasing power away. If you keep them fighting amongst each other, then you can do stuff in the background, the backdrop, behind the scenes. And they're not looking at the real issues of what the politicians are doing, the government's doing. They are fighting amongst each other, themselves, like they want it to have happen. So it's the best way to control them. And with control, they control the population, then they control behaviors, and then they control what people think, say, and do, and then they can take away all the wealth and all the freedom. That's that. This is a real crude explanation of what it is. There's more elements involved, and there's more to it, but on a basic level, that's it. So back to my first question is, why do you need a president? And my answer to you is, that's a wrong question to be asking. You don't need a president at all. You don't need a president. So, and that goes along with senators and congressmen and whole plethora of other things. But I was just starting there because everyone, when it comes to the president, thinks that no matter who gets elected, it's going to change the world for the better and change your lives. Well, answer me this. When's the last time a president or even someone higher up in the political spectrum has contacted you when you were in need, has contacted you when your health was down, has contacted your family when they needed something, was there for you? I know you'll say, well, there's billions of people and there's 300 million people in this country. He doesn't have time to get a hold of everyone or be involved with everyone. Exactly my point. That's why your family, your friends, your neighbors, and those you interact with on a regular basis are way more important than the president. Period. So think about that. As always, thanks for watching. Stay vigilant. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your health, and protect your wealth.